again, gentlemen. Right. First things first, I have inspected the bike. Brake fluid is definitely in need of a cleanup, so we would be doing that now. Still doesn't work. Damn it, Dorothy! No place like home. No place like... just get on with it. What was in here? That. Yeah. Bike's 2 years old, gentlemen. This is what happens when fluids stand for too long. So let's pump the rest. Look at that chocolate. Yep. Gonna run at least 6 to 7 pots of clean fluid through this thing. That's from the front reservoir. That's still decent. So how come the rear brake is always the worst one? Never mind. Quick information, spanner size, an 11 here. Makes no sense. The front one is an 8mm spanner. Must be Husky. Yeah, I know, I'm wearing blue gloves in occasion of the Husky brand. Don't get me started, okay? Okay, let's run through this. This one, the first one we open, that's to crack the oil. That is a 13mm socket. Don't get me started, why not 12, why not 10? Husqvarna is being difficult. So, crack that open, drain. Then the oil filters. And lastly, we open this one. This is the oil screen. So, let's begin. Right, while that's doing that, time to inspect the magnetic drain plug. You see a bit of swarf, but judging that this engine has only done 4,000 kilometers, that's actually pretty acceptable. So clean that off. New washer. Personally, I always like to add a bit of Hylomar to the sump plug, just as an added precaution. It's a non-setting gasket sealer, just that little bit of extra protection. Then coming to the oil and filter, I'll tell you which ones are which. That little bottle there is Liqui Moly. It's an oil additive. All it is basically just a little bit more protection for your engine. If it does something, I don't know, 30 milliliters per liter. Look, I usually add a spoonful to it just for shits and giggles. I don't know if it works. Okay, let's see. How's the oil? That's relatively clean. I wasn't expecting any major things here. So, at least the engine is in good nick. Mind you, when I opened it, a lot of white residue came out first. That could be cooling fluid, or the oil has got maybe some sort of sedative or water from standing so much. I hope it is the latter, but it's something to be monitored. Again, gentlemen, if you're watching this channel, this is just me being pedantic. You know, that's why you're watching, I hope. Torque it down to 20 Newton meters of torque. And before I forget, tightening 6 Newton meters. The oil screens 1 and 2 are 15 Newton meters. Keep that in mind. If it comes from the factory, this cap will be difficult to remove. So you loosen it, and with your greatest might, you twist it so these ears come up. And then you just pop it from the back, it'll come back off. There is an O-ring between it and the filter. Inspect that, lube it with oil, put it at the side. Then to remove this filter, and by the way, I already like Husqvarna because the oil doesn't fucking go over a hot exhaust and makes very little mess. I use circular pliers. You can use whatever else you want. Your wife's nagging. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Come out, baby. That still looks okay. Let that drain. Yeah, you dirty girl, you. Okay, so that's the larger of the two. So that would make it the HF155 from High Flow Filtro. And before you purists get on my backside about you should only use Husqvarna or KTM certified filters, gentlemen, High Flow makes those filters, and I got this from the dealer, so use it. Let's face it, I've serviced every 5,000, so piss off. Next. With the new filter, add a bit of engine oil to the rubber gasket and then push it in. Remember, you don't enter your husband or your wife's hiney hole without lubrication. Same story applies here. Okay, this side a little bit different, and I found the first design flaw. You have to remove the cap in order to pop this thing out. Once it's out, move it out of the way. The rubber washer sits this side, so check, there's also an O-ring on the back here, check that if it's okay. Lube with engine oil, clean, and then lube here with the new filter and pop that back on, tighten. And the next thing we're doing are the oil screens. Filter for your reference, HF651 High Filtro. Okay, first filter, 13mm socket. Let's break that open and let's see how bad or what gunk it has. There we go, nothing. Absolutely perfect. What I wonder about is why KTM didn't put the magnets here at the screen like they did on the 1190. No idea. Okay, clean with brake cleaner. Make sure the O-ring's in good condition. Reinsert, and let's go to the final filter. Okay, little bit of filing right there, but the rest was 100%. No problem. I actually had to use a rubber mallet on this one. The last monkey boy did not torque this down to spec. Alright, let's clean this up, torque it, and then we fill oil. And now for the easy part. 1.7 liters of oil. You don't need to half fill, start the engine, and then fill to complete. It's just dump it in there. So let's do that. And while we are on the discussion, gentlemen, why do I use Castrol and not Bel-Ray or Motorex? Because it's cheaper. I can get a bottle for 120 Rand where Motorex will set you back 220. Is there a difference in quality? Perceived, maybe. Who knows? Point is, have a look at the specification. Does it meet JASO MA2? Does it have, SN or SL qualities? I've had so many different opinions over the years of people saying Castrol's shit, it doesn't shift right, and other people are raving about them. And let me put it this way. In my 1190, I only put this Castrol 10W50 in. And the oil screens are always clean. There's never any metallic debris or anything like that. And the engine just runs, And maybe it's because I service it, every 7,000 I do an oil change on the KTM. This one will be done every 5,000. But and don't think that I ride like Miss Daisy, I don't. I'm aggressive. I care very little for the mental health of my bike's engine. But that being said, I do let it warm up before I wring the neck. And look, bottom line, if you have a favorite oil, use it, either due to financial constraints or personal preference, or maybe you're blowing the guy at the distributorship. Look, as long as you change your oil within frequency and it adheres to the given standards, you'll be fine. There we go, start her up, let her run for 10 minutes, and then check the oil. And if everything goes to plan, it should be around about there. Perfect. Job well done. And that's how you change the oil on a Husky. Little tip, whatever you've opened and tightened, just give it a quick spray of brake cleaner. That way you will see any leaks immediately, and also keeps everything nice and tidy. Put a thumbs up if you didn't like this. Later. Was the oil change done at least? If the guy cancels on me and I have to give it back, it's still a big loss. Next thing, things you should always do when getting a bike is give it a good wash. And that's what I've done. I used a pressure washer. Yes, I used a pressure washer. I do remember the head bearing bullshit from the SM610. I shouldn't have done it, but let me put it this way. I was standing at least 1.5 meters away, so it was a gentle shower. And obviously a bit of soap was involved. So let's go through her. Not bad, right? Not bad, not bad, not bad. Rust. I have noted some links have got rust on them, so we're going to paraffin them, see how far the rot goes, because nobody took care of you, baby. I'm talking to the bike, not you, the viewer. Obviously, something what should be done, take paraffin and give it a hose down to see are there any oil leaks. I just paraffined this thing and look at that. That's absolutely pristine factory condition, nothing wrong there. The other good thing about paraffin, it really brings this to shine, although I don't like that anodizing. I'll probably remove it. Obviously, things to check up when you're doing this. The most common leak by the shift lever, if the bearing has been impacted or a crash. I have noticed that this thing is super tight. Why? Because the spring basically sheared off, so this thing couldn't bounce back if you crash. Owner neglected that, but yeah, it's a minor thing. A new spring in, and that's that. Rubber pads are gone. Really big problems, I haven't seen many. So it's good. It's really, really good. Coming to the bike as such, the 701. They're hellishly expensive, 142,000 Rand. And that's a lot for a single cylinder. So I'm glad I didn't pay retail price, and I got a couple of extras with it. That being said, what I'm going to pump into this bike, I'm never going to get back. New lights, a little bit of a blue LED. I know I don't have a better bulb for it yet, and I wanted to know what it looks like. Gentlemen, it looks like shit. That little blue glare at the bottom looks like shit. By the way, how you take off this headlight? Bolt one. Just one bolt here. And there's one here and one at the bottom. As soon as you pop those out, the entire thing, the mask, gets out of the way. Electronics, everything okay, nothing chafing. But you can see on this bike where they saved the money. Okay, this one is now aluminum. Before it was plastic. The handguard is still cheap as chips for a supermoto. Okay, within reason. The mirrors are shit. This brake pedal leaves very much to be desired. It feels like I just have to, vaginal sneeze at it and it would bend. So this is very flimsy. I mean, listen to that. It's nothing. So heavy duty might be an ideal thing if you crash a lot off-road. What else? Okay, this sump plug is cheap plastic. This could break also in your hand. But those are, the little niggles. They did save a couple of rands since Austrian dollars or whatever currency they use over there. What is it, virginities? I don't know. Gehen wir mal ein bisschen Butter, ne? Schluchtenscheißer. So, and yes, I know some of you are recalling my KTM 690 Supermoto review where I harped about the 701. And I'm not wrong, still not. It's still a shitload better.